Hello everyone and welcome to another comic book video. Today we're going to be talking about one-shot comic books. Specifically, we're going to be looking at Marvel today. So what are one-shot comic books? One-shot comic books is pretty much a comic book that's published that usually has a number one on it, but it's going to be a standalone issue. There's not going to be any succeeding issues to a series or something. It's usually just by itself. It usually has a self-contained story sometimes. Other times it will be used, especially like with Marvel and DC, they use it as like a teaser. They'll tease upcoming storylines, or they'll use it as a way to introduce new characters or new titles that will be coming out in the near future. So pretty much it's just its own single issue that usually provides some basic plot lines or basic storylines for upcoming series or upcoming storylines that are going to be in other issues. So today I brought in some of the Marvel ones I have in my collection. The first one is Civil War: The Initiative. This has a nice Marc Silvestri cover. This is actually serves as the prologue to the Marvel Comics' first Civil War event. You may kind of notice the title is the Captain America Civil War movie was kind of based on this series. So this is the prologue where in the end, of course, Iron Man's side kind of wins, and Iron Man gets put in charge of all the superheroes in the United States, and all the superheroes are required to register. So this is the kind of issue serves as the prologue to that, but also introduces some upcoming storylines and stuff. It deals with the brand new team of Thunderbolts that will be starting up. It also shows what happens to those heroes who teases briefly, like some of those heroes that refuse to register, what happens to them. So this is kind of just very much a prologue wrapping up the Civil War storyline, but also introducing and teasing stuff that will be coming up in the upcoming months of the story, just by teasing some of the different storylines and stuff that will be happening. So that's that issue. Next one I have is Secret Invasion Dark Reign. This is also of course a standalone, a nice cover by Alex Maleev, and it introduces the Dark Reign storyline. This was after a big event called Secret Invasion, where Norman Osborn ends up getting put in charge of the Heroes Initiative from Tony Stark, and he ends up starting what this term was called the Dark Reign, where he starts introducing different super villains and stuff into various superhero teams. He forms alliances with other villains like Doctor Doom and stuff. So this was kind of like the issue which served as both a prologue for the Secret Invasion storyline, but also introduced this Dark Reign concept that was going to be in the titles for the next year or two. So this was just kind of the starting issue for that. Next one I have is Marvel Point 1 from 2011. This is actually a nice key issue though. This is the first appearance of Sam Alexander, who goes on to become Nova. He makes his first appearance in this issue. Like I mentioned, some of these issues will actually tease new characters, and this is the case with this one. It teased Sam Alexander, who would then of course go on to star in his own Nova series, and later he'll join the Avengers and the Champions as well. So this is just a nice first appearance. It's also teased another event that was going to be coming up in Marvel's future at the time. This teased the original Sin storyline, which introduced the, you had the murder of the Watcher, who's on the cover there, and the original Sin storyline was a bunch of heroes getting together trying to figure out who murdered the Watcher, and that storyline was kind of teased in this issue. Next we have Marvel Now, number 1. This is very similar to some of the other ones. This one actually came out very shortly after the Marvel Point 1 from the previous comic I showed you, but this was kind of the same thing as well. I just kind of teased some different storylines and stuff that would be upcoming in some of the different stories. You can actually see on the cover there some of the characters that were featured in some of these stories that were in the issue. And the final one I brought today is one that actually just came out this past winter. It's called Incoming. This is kind of serves as a kind of a prologue to the whole Marvel was celebrating its 80th anniversary type event last year, and they did, of course, Marvel Comics 1000, which was kind of paid homage to the different stories and different characters and stuff that have been created over the 80 years. But they also started teasing a bit of a storyline about a murder mystery in that comic, and this one is kind of shows as both a prologue to the Marvel 1000, but also kind of starts an introduction of some of the upcoming storylines as well. This is also a variant cover. This is not the main cover. This is actually a variant cover by Dustin Weaver, which I think looks pretty nice. So that's it today. I just talking about some Marvel one-shots. Next week I'll be back with talking about some DC one-shots next week. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, just go ahead and give it a like, and I'll see you next time.